Hello, and welcome back to Hunter Tuned. Today we are going to be installing some 2200cc injectors from Snake Eater Performance into my Honda Civic. Now, I can't really turn the boost up that high on my car right now. I'm limited on fuel supply because I only have decapped Camaro injectors in here, which flow around 1200cc-ish. These injectors in here, they're the LS3, I believe. Short style injectors, just like the Bosch 210, these Camaro ones are. And yeah, they've worked really good. I just want to turn this thing up and really push the DevCon to see kind of how far it can go and see where the limitation of this motor really is, because I can't figure out this oil pressure issue, and I'm just gonna fucking send it because yeah, I don't know, had it all apart the other day, checked out all the main bearings and everything, and they all look worn but not like completely screwed. I had the middle bearing was actually spun a little bit, so I put a new main bearing in the middle, and I shimmed the stock oil pump and a whole bunch of other stuff, and the oil pressure is exactly the same as it was. The car is not knocking at all. It runs very well, and it just drops at high RPM, like 7,500 and above. It's been dropping a little bit, you know, dropping oil pressure a little bit, and that could be something in the cylinder head. It could be the oil pressure gauge, it could be a bunch of stuff, but it was so bad when I first put the motor together, it would drop so far that VTEC would actually disengage, but now it's not dropping anywhere near that bad, so I'm just going to run it. Hopefully it works. Hopefully this motor lasts a little while, and if it doesn't, well, it's the end of the frickin' season anyways, and we only got a couple track days left, so don't really care. Don't really want to put any money into the Honda. This is the last upgrade I'm going to do to it before we focus on the Mustang, which I did get a bunch of parts for in the mail today. But anyways, over here I got the Snake Eater 2200cc injectors, or 210-pound injectors. They're just like the Bosch 210s. They look identical, except, guys, these things are $45 a piece. I paid 190 bucks shipped to my door for 4 2200cc injectors. Let me know if you can beat that frickin' price. You can't. We're going to see if they're too good to be true or not. From reviews and stuff that other guys on Sloppy Mechanics public page have been putting out on these injectors, is they are frickin' amazing for the money. You can't beat it. So, yeah, we're just going to put them in the flow tester that I have, make sure they flow evenly, and yeah, we'll just kind of see what they flow and make sure they're even. Once we know they're flowed and even, I would like to maybe do a comparison quick between the flow on the ones I have and then the flow on these, kind of side by side. And then we'll throw them into the car and see how they tune, see how they idle, and that might be it. I feel like I'm talking a little fast, or I'm nervous or something, because I actually just took my first dose of kratom, which is supposed to help with like anxiety and stuff like that. And a lot of people on the channel are actually interested in like my anxiety and how I'm dealing with it and battling it. But yeah, I tried kratom today, and we'll see how the fuck that goes. My mouth is a little bit numb from it. My mouth feels numb. That's the only thing I really feel right now, other than being like nervous. Like I'm super nervous about this shit. Alright guys, so Snake Eater Performance injectors so far, flowing them in my homemade little injector test rig. These things are freaking insane. They flow literally double what my old injectors would flow, or like a flex style injector. They flow literally over double, or a little bit more than double what the flex style does, which are 1000 cc's. So these injectors flowing a hair over double means that these are 2200s. I did a test with just like a stopwatch, just like a quick and dirty fuel test, and these things are seriously spot on. Like, there's no variance between the injectors so far. And I ran a few tests, you know, on and off, pulsed them, everything, and they seem to be working amazing. I actually had to bump the fuel pressure on my little fuel pump that I have on this thing, because the fuel pump couldn't actually keep up with the flow that these injectors put out. I can only actually test 2 at a time, where normally I can actually run all 4, but I can only do 2 at a time, and I had to crank the pressure up on the, or I had to crank the voltage up on the fuel pump to actually get these things to steady out and flow, because like I said, they just flow like mad. I'm super happy so far. I already yanked the injectors out of my Civic. These are the ones that came out of my Honda. They're literally the same exact thing. like body-wise, these are LS3 style injectors, just like the Bosch 2200s or whatever. They're really short injectors. He also offers these in an LS6 height, which are like the flex style injector height, which would work really good. But since my car is already set up for these really short ones, I have a top hat to compensate between these and the fuel rail. So I just went with this because I wouldn't really have to change anything. And they come with EV6 fuel connectors or electrical connectors. So they will literally plug right in because I already have EV6 on mine. And yeah, so I'm going to actually do a quick test between my injectors and the snake eaters, and I'm going to show you the flow difference between the two. All right, guys, so I actually just took the injectors out of my Honda. Like I said, these are like a newer style LS3 Camaro injector, and they flow around 1200 cc, 1000 to 1200, anywhere in there. Just a little bit more than the normal flex style injectors that I sell on my website, huntertune.com. So I plopped those two on this side, and then these two are the new snake eater ones on the right side. So I'm just going to do a flow test on my thousands here, and then I'm going to do a test on the snake eater 210s, and then we're going to go from there and kind of see the comparison between the two. Y'all ready for this? Okay, there's those. So we'll move the connections over to the Bosch 2200, or fucking snake eater 2200s. Do the same thing. See, they have a lot of air in them because they flow so much. They find air in the system. So yeah, there we go. We got monstrous more amount of fuel flow out of these guys compared to these. It's pretty much double the amount of fuel flow, which is crazy. It's awesome. Super cool. I'm going to throw these in the car and kind of see how they run. Alright guys, it's a few days later, and I got the Snake Eater 2200cc injectors installed into my Civic, and they're running pretty good. I had to mess with the tune quite a bit to get these things to run right, obviously because they're like double the size of the old ones. And as with any like 2000cc or larger fuel injector, they kind of have a little bit of choppy idle, just because they don't like to work at very light duty cycle or light fuel flow. They don't like that. They like to be ran, obviously, you know, above like 5% duty cycle, not at, you know, a 0.5%. Or anything like that. But I'll fire the car up here quick and kind of show you guys how they idle. I can get them to idle a little bit smoother if I wanted, but personally I kind of like the little choppy idle. But I'll show you how she is. I still got to mess with the cranking fuel a little bit because it does start a little hard, but my battery's also really low, so that could be part of it as well. See what I mean? It's got like a pop to it. That's just mainly because it's a big injector, and you know, that's just kind of how they are. And you kind of got to idle them richer than you would normally if you want it to be consistent air fuel. If I lean it out from here, it's going to get a little bit more choppy, and the air fuel is not going to be as consistent. But like I said, these injectors seem to have a little bit of issue at light duty cycle. It's not anything that I can't deal with, but it is a little, you you know, bothersome, I guess, to me, because I like cars running like completely factory. But you know, you gotta give some to take some, if you know what I mean. You know, you're gonna sacrifice a little bit of cruising and idle ability if you want to run like a super large injector like this, but what you're gaining is the amount of fuel you can flow. You know, I could make 700-800 horsepower now with this size fuel injector. My car's got a stutter. Oh, also another thing I did to the car while I was doing the injectors and all that kind of stuff, I actually put a kill switch on the car, on the back bumper here. So this is pretty neat. Shuts the car off. So this is just like a battery cutoff switch. So you can hear the fuel pump turn back on when I turn that kill switch on. And I had to install that because to pass tech at you know, the track and stuff, you do need a battery cutoff switch if your battery's like located in the rear. At least I think that's what the rule is. It might just be like if you're going a certain speed, you might need that battery cutoff. And I wired it because, I don't know, I want to pass tech with this car. I eventually might put a cage in it and do everything, you know, legit and kind of get it tech certified, because I want to go 10s and not get kicked off, because I like to race and continue to race all night long, if you know what I mean. I don't like to just like go make a pass and then call it quits because I'm going too fast for the track and, you know, their rules. But anyways, I wired the kill switch, and a lot of guys, when they wire these kill switches on the back, they only wire them to the battery, and they splice the battery power wire, and they just run one end to the switch and then the other end out to the battery. And what that does is it kills the battery to the car, so it's not going to have like a, you know, it's not going to be able to start, but once it's running, it's still going to stay running if you pull that switch out, because you need to wire the alternator in with it. So I actually took the alternator wire off my harness, which goes into the fuse panel on this slot right here, and I pretty much just ran it to the back. I extended it, fucking bugs. I extended this wire, ran it all the way back to the battery, and then I spliced that in with the battery wire to go to the kill switch, and then the other end of the kill switch goes to like the starter and the wiring harness. So that's kind of how you got to wire them when you're doing a kill switch. If, like I said, if you don't do that and the track actually checks, it's not going to work, and you will not pass tech. Other than that, I might go get some pulls in with the car. Probably going to have to wait for the next video on that one, guys. I'm probably going to go turn this thing up. I want to run like 25 pounds of boost, I'm thinking. And hopefully it's got the fuel for it, which it will, and hopefully the motor takes it, because I don't think it's gonna. But I want to see if I can push this DevCon and see if I can make it crack a sleeve, or if I can make it crack a piston. I don't know what one's gonna break. We did crack a sleeve on the B20 before, but it did not have the DevCon support in there. So I'm gonna run it and try to make like 600-700 horsepower and see if you know, we crack a sleeve or not. Probably will, but like I said, we're just going to run it and see what it does. So I'm going to take it to the track one of these days, and we're going to try to go mile an hour really fast. My fastest mile an hour in the car so far is 133, and that was with, I think, 20 pounds of boost, or 21 maybe. And yeah, I plan on going maybe 25 and seeing if I can go like 140 in the quarter. That'd be really cool. And if it does it once, I'm going to park it. I don't want to blow it up then, because then I know, hey, this motor's a good one. Maybe we should just leave it. But if it can't take 140 mile an hour trap speed, I want to build something better, because I would like to go, you know, deep 10s, maybe a high 9. I've never went 9s in a Honda. I'd like to try maybe, but yeah, anyways, so thanks for watching this video, guys. Hopefully it was helpful, informative. Go check out snakeeaterperformance.com. I'll put his link in the description of this video. And also go check out my website if you guys are interested in any smaller fuel injectors, like 1,000 cc or so. I do sell the decaps. Anybody that is interested in the old injectors that are out of my Civic, you can also hit me up. These are like a 1,300 cc. So they do flow, you know, I went 10s with those injectors. So you can flow quite a bit more with those compared to the normal flexes. Not much more, but a little bit more. And that's kind of all I needed for the edge to get into the 10s with the Honda. But like I said, now I'm trying to push the envelope, go even faster, and all that. So yeah, much more to come, guys. Be sure to subscribe, like this video, and we will see you later. Have a good night.